Hello and welcome to my top 11 tips and tricks for Foundation 1.0. My first tip is choosing a map with a good amount of water on it so you can start fishing to get a lot of extra food. So getting a maxed out river could be good, or if you're playing on a hills map, a lot of lakes, or a big ocean on a coastal map. Right, now my next tip is to, at the start of the game, not be afraid to put all of your villages onto things, because you can always remove them later, and it's more efficient to just have every single person doing something, because then that means that your employment will be high, which means you'll get more people coming to join your village. Again, my third tip is what to build first. So the first thing you should definitely always build is the builder's workshop. Get as many villages on that as you can. Again, you want to build a logging camp or a lumber camp. You want to get people to build that. You can assign villages to it before you even start before you've even constructed it, and then get a wood cutting zone. Again, what you want to build after that is a forester camp to replant the trees, and a gathering hut for berries. And the gathering hut should be a priority here. Again, in a forester camp, you want to assign someone to it and get to plant in a reforestation area, like that. And then you want to assign a bunch of people to the gathering hut. And the next thing we should get to building is a well, so we can place that down for now, so that's to be a priority. Now we've got the wood to build it, but don't have the stone, so the next thing we should build is a stone cutter camp. Again, we'll wait for that to get built. Now that's built, we'll wait to get our villagers in. And we'll put them on that stone camp. We'll take a builder off here and then put them on the stone, since we don't need more than one builder in this moment. Now we'll wait a little bit until we get this well built. Although whilst we're waiting, since we've got multiple villagers, we could get, where is it, a market built ready. Now the well's built, I'll start building the market, so we can wait for that. We could probably take one person off the stone and put them back on the builders. And the next thing we want to build is we go up here to progression. Here's a bunch of things you can unlock. What you want to unlock is the storage. That's going to unlock a warehouse and a granary, and we're going to need a granary for storing our food so that we can supply it to the market. Another thing we should plan to build is the sawmill, so we can start turning some logs into planks. But the granary should take priority here. Alright. Again, since the granary is built, we can leave that for now. The reason we want to build a well is because we want to get happiness up so that people don't leave us, so that we've got enough time to do the other stuff. Now we'll wait for the sawmill to get built. And since we're starting to get a lot of berries, or rather, we don't need those 3 builders again, so we'll put another one on stone. Now the sawmill's built, we'll wait for the next villagers to come, and then we'll put them in there. We've gotten a lot of berries, so we could probably take a few people off there. We could put one in a granary, Start storing berries up in there. I could put another one on the sawmill. We could also probably take a stone cutter off now and put them on the market and get assign berries to the market. Also got a full wood production, so we'll take someone off there. Again, we'll go put them over on the sawmill. Then it's a new person, we'll also put on the sawmill. So for tip number 4, it's about wood and planks production. So we've got a bunch of wood. You can turn that into a bunch of planks. So 1 wood to 1 plank. And I think 1 tree gets you about 2 wood. As you can see, I go chopping a tree down. We've turned on the tracker for wood. We'll see how much wood they get from 1 tree. And it's 2. So 1 tree is worth 2 wood. And then 1 wood is worth 1 plank. So per tree you can get 2 planks. And then later we can trade those planks by building a warehouse. We can assign someone to the warehouse and a plank to a warehouse by the trade route to Northbury for 20 planks, and then we can start selling them our excess planks, since we want to keep a bunch for ourselves. Now the best ratio I find for the woodcutter camps and the forester camps is 1 forester for every 3 people you have in the lumber camp. That just seems to be the best way to do things. And then now once you've gotten a bit further into the game, it's probably time to build your church after you've gotten all the other needs apart from refined food sorted. So in progression, what I'd recommend doing, rather than just building a standard gross looking wooden church with a thatched roof, I'd recommend going into here and paying 25 coins, take a rustic church architecture, and you can build a pretty nice church out of the pieces available here, just like this. Now with the bell tower, it provides light fortification to the houses around it, which you're going to need later down the line to upgrade the houses, so I'd recommend building the bell tower with some houses around it. But if you look, you just end up with a much nicer looking church. You can say something like this. You can say that. This one, at least to me, I much prefer this one over here. Plus, it gets you some splendor. And it has a much higher capacity. And it's not all that too much more expensive. It's less planks, but slightly more tools and a bunch of stone. But stone's not really a hard thing to get. But again, you'd be building this once you've got all your houses down and all your other needs, apart from refined food and service, built. Your churches give you service. Now, for things you should unlock first in the progression tab, are definitely this which I showed you earlier. If you've got large bodies of water near you, or just schools of fish near you, you're definitely going to want fishing. You might want village fences around the time you're building a manor house, but at this stage, after you do all that, and then this, when you're ready to build your manor, after you built your church and everything else, you want to build a manor. It looks nice to have some fences around it. You know, from there, you probably do some labour stuff. You get village fortifications. You probably get a bailiff office and some other stuff. And then over here, once you've got all that set up, you probably go for clothing. You get all your clothes stuff up. And you probably go for farming. You get some farming stuff to bread production. You also probably get butchering and set up your. Well, you could do either one of these. I recommend this one first. So butchering if you've got a lot of dense forest around you. But from there you can pretty much go wherever you want. And now tip number 8, how to set up patrols. This really got me at first in the demo. I had no idea how to do this because I don't explain it very well. But when you're building, you can assign sub buildings right here. And you again get a watch post. And then you can place down a building, and the bigger the building, the more people you can fit in. So like figure scales, I'm just going to put that there, and I'm in creative mode so I can build things instantly. But now you'll see I can have a bunch of patrollers which will patrol with these areas, which is what you can put on houses, so you can patrol houses. Again, gotta feel safer. So patrols and light fortification allow you to upgrade your housing density, which can have more, so you can have more people in one house. And yeah, you just assign patrollers here, go patrolling. You know, watchmen, which go to patrol posts, which provide light fortification, as well as watchtowers, which when someone's in them, provide all light fortification as well. And now something I didn't know at first, but it's got your manor house, the amount of splendor you have, is multiplied by 1.5. So you'll gain 50% more splendor in here than it actually says. So to start unlocking the second labour tier stuff, you need 25 labour splendor. 10 prosperity is pretty easy to get after you got your houses and more villages, but 25 labour splendor, you can put down a bunch of decorations in your manor house, a bunch of decorations in your market, and you can figure out what equals 25 labour splendor. But just remember that in the manor house you get 50% more splendor. Now tip number 10 is about taxing your villagers. So what you'll want to do to start taxing your villagers is build a tax office in your manor house. Now in order for this tax office to work, it needs light fortification, which you can get off like a tower like this in your manor. And you can assign anyone to these, especially to the citizen class, which means that citizens get tier, so these ones at the moment are just serfs, but you can promote them to commoners, and you promote them to citizens if all their needs are fulfilled. But it's just that they work more, the higher the rank, the more efficient they'll work, basically, up to the rank of citizen. So citizen work at 100%, a commoner will work at probably like 50%, and a serf will work at like 25%. Basically, in this case, I think they'll just collect taxes slower. So make sure that has light fortification, and you come over to this royal book, and here you have taxation. So residential taxes, you can increase these depending on the amount of villagers you have and their tier. So I've only got serfs at the moment, so only serfs are appearing here. But you can increase the taxes 150, but you lose. And here again, you can increase taxes, but the higher you set taxes, the more happiness they're gonna lose. So you definitely always want to at least have this basic tax here, since it's only 5% happiness. But later down the line, you might want this or this. And then other taxes, which appear later in the game, you can tax certain things, like you can tax windmills. So for whenever they build flour, they'll generate tax revenue. Whenever people mine, if you've got mines, they'll generate tax. Same with smithing things, and then same with citizens drinking at the tavern. Normally you can only have one of these on at once without gaining any penalty to do with labour, splendour and influence, but because this edict you can pick up, so you can have one more concurring taxes without penalty, which basically means that you can have another one of these without any penalty. Now for tip number 11, the final tip. Making profit from a monastery. They can be very, very good, especially if you get the extra stuff like winemaking or beekeeping. So the first thing you want to get is dorm rooms. You can get those. Again, you're going to want to have a chapel. I'm just going to put these together really basically for now. And after you've got those basic things, you're going to want a scriptorium, where they create manuscripts which you can use to promote your monks and nuns. So you definitely want one of those as well. And then, the main thing you want is a herb garden. You want to get the herb garden hut, which can sort to 50 a resource. And you can start putting down these herb planters. And the more of those you get down, the more money you'll end up making because you're making loads of herbs. You can then sell these herbs. You can sell herbs to Northbury for 3 per one. And then later, once you get wine, you can sell that for 5. Which you can also get vegetables, which is pretty good. Although those are proper fields you get to paint and assign people to. The clergy, which is this estate here, just automatically assigns the unemployed monks and nuns you have in a monastery 2 jobs, so you don't get to choose that. Okay, next up we have the cloister, where higher tier monks and nuns will go to fill their rest need. So you want to build an entrance and then some walkways. And you can get corners. Okay, I've just built it the other way around. And there you go. You might want another entrance in here so you can get in. Yep, there you go. So an entrance into the cloister, an entrance out, and a space in the middle for them to sit down and relax. Then the next thing you want is an apiary or apiary, however you say it. You place that down like that. And yes, I think just over time produces honey and wax. So you could have multiple of these, I think, possibly. And you've got the vineyard, which you can place just anywhere. And you plant the field. You can go plant the vines. The grapes grow on the vines, and then go harvest them. And you want the winery, which is where they turn the grapes, 10 grapes and 1 barrel, into 5 wine. So you need to make sure you're importing or making barrels in your city. This is like a layer thing though, because it requires a lot of money to get started. But it can make you a lot of money in return. And with that, that's my top 11 tips and tricks for Foundation 1.0. I hope these tips helped you, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Bye.